Okay, hello, linguistics students. Welcome to our review video of some questions that you had after our review session. I know that when we held our review session, it was actually raining very hard. So I asked you all if you had some questions, and I have received some. So there are 6 questions. And in this video, I will briefly try my best to answer these 6 questions so that we can all do better on our exams next tomorrow, which is tomorrow. Okay, so 第一个问题是why do we consider Cantonese Hakka as the same language? Okay, they don't belong to a unified culture, so I don't think they are the same language. Okay, so this is a very good question. Why do we consider Cantonese and Hakka the same language? Something for us all to remember is that we tend to think about the same language as having a unified history, having mutual intelligibility, and so forth. So why do we do this? It's because the Chinese culture is relatively unified, as opposed to other cultures like European history. So, for instance, certain languages, like the Romance languages, they don't have so much of a unified history, unified culture, but in Chinese culture, we treat it as they do. And one of those reasons is because China remains one country. And although we speak in different dialects, politically, we still define Chinese as one language, just different varieties of Chinese. And that's the reason. Officially, this is the way. Of course, you can have a different opinion, but it's fair to say that when linguists they define the Chinese language, they tend to consider Cantonese and Hakka as both belonging to the same language, Chinese, but different varieties. Okay, so that's the way linguists define it. Certainly, you can have a different opinion, and this is up for debate. And that's the reason why the number of languages we have in the world is not a set number because it depends on how you define it. But in general, the Chinese government and the way they count languages, and of course that affects how linguists count languages, is that Hakka and Cantonese, Taiwanese, Mandarin, Chinese, they're all considered Chinese. Okay, I hope that answers your question. So, question 2 is why is solidarity one of the reasons for giving compliments? I can't understand the definition of solidarity that Professor Yuan explained in the video. Okay, so solidarity is the idea of togetherness in a group. So,当我们在一个团体里面的时候呢，我们会希望这个团体和谐，我们希望我们这个团体呢是团结的。那在就是赞美别人，就 give compliments. This builds solidarity, right? If you compliment someone for their appearance, for their skill, right, for their whatever it is, you are building a connection with that person, and it builds solidarity between the two of you, and also it keeps solidarity in your social group. Okay, so that is the reason why solidarity is a reason for giving compliments. It is to maintain a feeling of peace, and everyone is happy in a group. So that is the definition of solidarity. Okay, let me see if I can help you find a dictionary definition. Yeah, I should do that as a teacher and TA. So solidarity is defined as unity or agreement of feeling or action, especially among individuals with a common interest or mutual support within a group. Okay, so I'll read it again. Unity or agreement of feeling or action, especially among individuals with a common interest, mutual support within a group. Okay, so two definitions of this noun, solidarity, and I hope that this helps you with understanding this concept. Okay, so question 3. For the features of phonetic transcription systems, okay, so for phonetic, okay, is there any example about the third feature? If two sounds are very similar and their differences arise only from the context, we should be able to represent that similarity. Yes. So for instance, in English, we talked about, okay, I should help you write this down. We talked about allophones and we also talked about phonemes, right? So the phoneme P equals, in this sense, in English at least, it includes this allophone without aspiration, and it also includes this allophone with aspiration. So we talked about pit, spit, right? The difference between these two allophones, and they represent the same sound. So the difference between these two allophones, P without aspiration and with aspiration, the only difference is the context, the linguistic context, so the sounds surrounding this particular sound. So we are representing this P here as phoneme because we are representing the similarity that they have, that they both represent the same meaning, at least in English. So this is the example of this feature that we're talking about. Okay, question 4. Does tone refer to the change of pitch? Yes and no. So when you have a syllable and you define the syllable as as a changing of pitch. So for instance, 我们的二声或是三声 these are very obvious. 或者是四声 we define this as a change of pitch, obviously, but it doesn't have to be, right? 你可以一声啊，对不对？ You can 可以妈妈 that doesn't change pitch, but we consider it one tone of Mandarin Chinese. So change of pitch and tone are not the same thing. You have to know what pitch is and have to know what tone is. It's not the same thing, but a tone can refer to a change in pitch. Ma, right? Ma. Yeah, that is changing pitch, certainly, and that's possible. Okay, so question 5. These are all very good questions. I think I am confused with tone and intonation when I study suprasegmentals. Okay, so tone is more related to individual's emotion. Is that correct? Normally, in general, when we talk in conversation and you say something like, I don't like your tone, right? That, of course, refers to the emotion, right? I don't like the way you're saying something. 我不喜欢你的口气, right? 你的口吻. And that's normally how we use it. But actually, in linguistics, that's not how we define it. In linguistics, we define tone as 所以一声、二声、三声、四声这种声调 is called tone. And that's how we define it in linguistics. It's different from how we define it in normal days. So let me help you check the dictionary here very quickly. So yes, in linguistics we talk about it as 声调, right? And that's one way of defining it. So there are quite a few. So okay. In phonetics, it's defined in some language, such as Chinese, as a particular pitch pattern. So it refers back also to question 4, right? A pitch pattern on a syllable that is used to make semantic distinctions. Okay, a particular pitch pattern on a syllable used to make semantic distinctions. But here if we talk about it in normal time, like the tone of a work of literature, right, then we're referring to another definition, which is the general character or attitude of a place, a piece of writing, a situation, etc. Okay, so we have to remember this that the answer to your question, question 5, I think this is Shanna you're asking. Shout out to Shanna. Thank you for asking a question. Is no. Tone is not related to emotion. In linguistics, tone refers to the change in pitch, the pitch pattern. Yeah, not necessarily change, but the pitch pattern on a syllable used to make semantic distinction. 所以，一声、二声、三声，就是平仄、朗声啊，阴平、阳平。Yeah, these are tones in linguistics. Okay, that's I think that's pretty clear. The last question, question 6. Okay, 我想问 scale down 就是在影片里说 agree with reservations, I believe. Agree, but with reservations. Okay. 我不太了解，有没有更详细的解释或是范例 ？Yes, of course. Okay, so scale down. What does that mean? To scale down, scale down means 可能原本是100分，可能原本我给出去的这个赞美呢是100分，可是呢，因为回应赞美的方式，我们课程里面有提到回应赞美的一些方法。那其中一种呢，就是 to scale down. So, you want to basically you want to agree. Okay, someone's calling me. Basically, you have to agree. But you can't say yes directly. Okay, and just accept it. That's not so appropriate. So we scale it down. 所以举例来说呢，就假设有人赞美你说啊，你的 essay 写得非常好。Okay, wonderful essay. And this is a compliment on your skill. So you can agree, but with reservations, which is like, thank you, yes, but I think it's not so good in some places. I need to work on it more. Okay, so that is an example of scaling down, right? Agreeing but with reservations, which is one of the 3 types of ways we respond to compliments. Scale down, transferring, right? Or to return the compliment back to the speaker, the person who is doing the complimenting. Okay, so those are my answers to the 6 questions. I hope that they are helpful for you. I want to give a shout out to Shanna and Howard and Madeline who provided these questions. If you have any more, please don't hesitate to contact me. Leave a comment down below. I'll check the comments again when I get back from my work today. It is 9 in the morning. So I hope that you all do very well in your final exams. Enjoy the process. I know it's very difficult. We're almost at the end. So enjoy the final exams. Good luck to all of you. I'm wishing you all the best from here in the city of Pittsburgh. Okay, bye.